Welcome to the Essex Artist Spotlight. We're here with Cody Goodin, Studio 251. Cody, thanks for taking the time to share with us today.
Oh, thanks, Brent. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Hey, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a visually impaired artist that went to Thomas More College for fine art and theater technology, and I graduated in 1984. And I've been making art from that point on.
Okay. And tell us a little about your style of art. You've got three-dimensional pieces, and you can look all the way around the piece, which is kind of an advantage because, most of the time you're looking straight on a piece and that's all you get. So tell us a little bit about your style.
I consider it sort of purposeful, primitive, and especially my more current work. It's predominantly made out of textile or mixed media with textile. It was developed over just the course of an evolution of studying various cultural and ancient artworks and just kind of extrapolating from that.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your process. How do you come up with the themes that you have? I noticed that it's a very wide range, and kind of maybe point to a couple and tell us what they mean and what the emphasis is behind them.
Okay. Most of my work stems from a lot of my spiritual practice, and which influences a lot of what I do. I pull from mythology, from dreams. So in the case of the mythology, I have a series here called Sky Beams, and they were inspired by Aboriginal stories of beings that came down from the sky that sort of helped them develop and grow. And so that was sort of my inspiration for that. And then I also have one next to it called the Three Sisters, based on the story of the Pleiades star cluster. And then I just make up things from my own dreams and my own little stories. I make up little stories about my neighborhood. So this little guy here, he is called the Wild Man of Burnett Woods. And so he's the little guy that lives in Burnett Woods and takes care of the animals and the plants and things like that.
There you go. So how long have you been part of the Essex?
This December will mark my 21st year.
Oh, wow. So you've been pretty much from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm an old timer.
So tell us a little bit about what some of the advantages of having a studio here at the Essex. I always ask this, just kind of, camaraderie or spinning ideas or...
In the early days, it was definitely more camaraderie, and this was really considered more of a working studio where we didn't have that many art openings, maybe a couple a year. But I got to know a lot of people, from working in the studio more frequently then. I don't work here quite as often as I did then. So for me, now, it's convenience. I don't live that far away. I ride the bus, and it's just one 10-minute bus ride from where I live. So it's a super easy place to be. It's affordable, and it makes me feel safe. I mean, I've always felt safe here. Very comfortable.
Very good. Now you have that piece in your hand. You were going to tell us a little bit about that. I don't want to stop before we...
This guy is called Death Rattle, and he came about. He's one of my most recent pieces. After looking at all the craziness that has happened in the world in the last year, I just became very affected by a lot of the negative things, the racism and the hate and the political divides and all that stuff. So he is called the Death Rattle. So he rattles. And all of the things that we consider negative or that we don't want in our lives have been stitched onto him, and his purpose is to take those things and to basically kill them.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot.
So you don't want racism in your life?
We need to make more of those, and we need to pass them out to the world.
Yes.
Hey, I always ask this question also. What would you say to aspiring artists? Somebody just starting out, maybe doesn't know what direction they want to go, or maybe somebody just kind of caught in a rut.
I talk to a lot of young artists frequently, and my first bit of advice is do not stress out about finding your style. It evolves. It just happens on its own. Explore, experiment, Never give up on your dreams. You know, sometimes you might have to take a little extra job or something to make ends meet, but never give up on your dreams. But just don't stress out about it. So many people stress out about wanting to be a certain thing or a certain way or have a certain, whatever. And I was like, no. I mean, I'm 62 years old. I've seen it all, done it all. And at the end of the day, you just have to be happy, A, with who you are and what you're doing.
And it doesn't happen unless you make it happen.
That's right. And don't look at what other people are doing, because sometimes that distracts you from what's in here.
Right.
Always follow what's in here.
And people can tell when you're making what you feel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Cody, thanks so much for taking the time to share with us today. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being part of the Essex. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. I've enjoyed it, and I'm really glad to take part.
Thanks much.
Thank you.